playing Bright last session due to a power outage related to a blizzard. And then, of course, lethality.
In May.
Yeah, you were doing your civic duty and such, which is absolutely fine. And you were not able to join us, so I'm going to give a little bit of a recap on things because it, especially Fluffy, if you didn't catch the last half, a lot of stuff happened in the last half of the game last week. A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A number of things.
I forgot.
A number of things.
So what ended up happening is well, yeah, we'll get this.
You made the Halloween vision come true.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I would like a chronological recap if possible.
Yeah.
The disconnected pieces.
All right. Having acquired the services of the Dowry Guard dwarf, who really wants to get out of everything because he's sick and tired of being eschewed by the Shadowhar, his own people. He said, "Look, I will help you fix the Norlai, or whatever you want to call it, if you just get me out of here." Now, is he an enemy soldier? Yes. Does he have an intrinsic working knowledge of the ship? Yes. But a deal was struck, and the Chroma Company adopted the surviving 100-ish doppels. So, congrats on that.
101 doppels.
101 doppels.
Not to be confused with Dalmatians.
The weak, the infirm, those who are left behind from the fighting, those who survived the undead, you were gathered after figuring out a way to transport the materials, as was left over by the elder doppel, through the tree there. And a lot of materials were brought over, including a bunch of metal that was just sort of thrown into the donuts of the engines, the remainder ones. The ship was cobbled back together. It may not look as nice. Thantos, thank you for the re-up. It may not look as nice as this presents, but you know what? It's pretty darn close. It was beginning to rain, but it is not a problem because as the communication with Norlai, within the Norlai, had happened, she was able to kind of raise shields from her storm sorcery abilities, and all of the little leaks and such were sealed off because she can deflect rain and other things, and even control the winds. So here we go. She did have a request, though, being the inhabitant of this newly and interestingly reborn troop transport. She did request that the ship be renamed from the Norlai. And the name put forward was Wild Magic. And so you all are aboard the Wild Magic here, with 101 doppels. You take off, and with Mordecai at the helm, guiding Wild Magic over the lands, these foreign lands, you were rushing with all due haste back to the Queensland and the town of Breezebane, where it is Seltur and Cypher were presumably dying. In fact, rather literally dying on a hill in this place. So with love and adoration of all of these doppels, camaraderie built up between you, and even this dwarven ally, you were rushing over the hill and dale, hither and thither. And during that time, Mordecai had heard that the doppels, as part of the maybe the process to this, or it was really weird how the ship was working. It's relying on the old magic ? Cypher was brought up, something to do with like gravity or magnetization or something. So apparently the world sort of gives off just this free and plentiful source of energy that you can ride upon, you can maneuver through. It simply took a different approach. So Mordecai can make various piloting notes regarding that. Filled with love and joy at being rescued, in complete adoration of, we all clap, if you all were listening to background music anyway. We all clap and cheer. The doppels are so happy to not have to worry as much anymore about what was going on. And so they began to sing, apparently a song that they know that was maybe an expression of their love and joy. And so as the rain was splattering against the shield, the winds that Norelai had redirected to also help guide you even that much more quickly, here at the helm, Mordecai, recognizing the tune echoing throughout the ship, realized that this is a song that he has heard before, that he has had a connection with, to, and maybe even through. And as you are rushing over the lands, memories of things that have come up before, the love, the losses, the points of embarrassment, and the absolute bliss that you all have shared in your just togetherness. All of you here, bringing everyone back together, having rescued so many others. You're seeing these lands. You're riding on not just the winds, but you're riding on everything that the world is providing as well, through this gift that apparently the Elder Doppel had left with Norelai. And so, the song was sung, time passed, and you, with all due haste, even on 3 engines, were gliding ever closer. Now, it is here, and I will replay this once more. So for those of you as my players who want to watch, you'll have to watch the stream because I can't project it to you otherwise. I will replay the scene that you come upon, sort of as a meanwhile, as the wild magic is surging over the lands, trying desperately to reach the dying Seltur, and by extension Cypher, whose fate is intertwined with her. This is what is happening back on that hill in Brisbane. And I will need to go back to the lobby for this because I forgot to drag it into this scene. So here we go, everyone.
To me, and it might have meant a thing or two if I'd known the difference. Emptiness, a lonely parody, and my life another smoking gun, a silent mind. indifference. Always keeping safe inside when no one ever had a chance to penetrate or break in. Let me tell you, some have tried, but I slammed the door so tight that they could never get in. Kept my cool under lock and key, and I never shed a tear. Another sign of my condition. Fear of love or bitter vanity, it kept me on the run, the main events of my confession. I kept a chain upon my door that would shake the shame of gain into a blind submission. The burning ghost without a name was still calling all the same, but I just wouldn't listen. The longer I stole, the further I go. The further I crawl, the harder I fall. I was rolling into the fire. The more that I saw, the further I fall. The further I fall, the lower I crawl. I kept falling into the fire. Into the fire. Into the fire. Suddenly it occurred to me the reason for the right and hide of all of my existence. Everything left on the other side could never be much worse than this, but could I go the distance? I pressed the door and all my shame, tearing off each piece of chain until they were broken. But no matter how I tried, the other side was locked so tight, the door it wouldn't open. Give it all I got, started to laugh. The shadow for someone to open and look, let's get through the door. The more that I know, the harder I get, the harder I get, the harder I know. Just break through the door. Yeah, yeah. You gotta hurry, you gotta break through the door. Gotta knock a little harder. Gotta knock a little harder. Break down the door.
So, after that scene, we had there's an unknown time for you as the players where, oh, what happened, but this is what has happened. Since Seltur was pretty much on her, she was on her last little tiny bit of treasure she was desperately clinging on to. Her first coin that set her on the path that she had taken, and of extreme, well, if nothing else, sentimental value. the lizard's cage, Snowball or Snowflake, or both. Anyway, the white lizard from the desert that you all saw in the opening, intro, was able to be the first to sneak in through the little hole in the door that had opened up, and made this connection with Seltur. The doors had opened. The Chroma Company, including Cypher and 101 Doppels, were all there. And then Seltur stumbled, and she began to dissipate. Her body was falling apart. And Celine, her essence was very similar to yours. She is something that is celestial or otherworldly in this way that you've come to try and understand it. And given that you have been the lead theorist in trying to find a new fuel source for her, having found it, having researched and discovered it, it is that things can run out, but the adoration of others, the love, the affection, the camaraderie, the friendship, all of these intangibles can be very, very, very fulfilling. And thus was Seltur's fuel source switched. However, her body from before was not capable of running on it. It had run out even of any of the tangibles, the material things. And so Celine, you were able to, with great effort, in an attempt to save her, maybe run an experiment as well, but in an attempt to save her, you and Mordecai were working together, because you, Celine, stand with 1 foot in life and 1 foot in death more closely than most anyone. You have this liminality as a gateway between the two, given the nature of who and what you are. And so, with a very long, deep drink of Mordecai's life, such that he is 10 years older from this process than when he began, you were able to take in, but not consume, because Mordecai was replacing that hunger, that need, with his own life. And so, in a sense, Mordecai was giving of himself as well to preserving Seltur's essence. And you, having a borrowed body upon which, well, Celine manifests, were able to take this energy, this spirit of Seltur, and to rebind it to a material form. Especially because not just the satiated hunger of Mordecai, but between the two of your the both of your efforts were able to, well, very much encapsulate Seltur's spirit. Now, in this moment as well, Celine, you had staggered. Your resources have been tapped, depleted in this experiment, in this process, and you had grown significantly. Bright, having a vision, having remembered that something like this has happened before, something like this was talked about, or something. This was a vision that you had shared, Celine. You, arguably the queen of the Doppels, next to your husband, the king, with even the siblings of Norelai and Loki present, had fallen. Bright was on the scene, and with a classic failed medicine check of a 2. The only way she knew how to save you from everything that you had explained what happened was to remove this egg from you. And so you were cut. And this large dragon egg was extracted from you. Mordecai was able, in that moment, to very quickly begin trying to knit your physical body back together. And it wouldn't be a complete vision from several years ago if also there wasn't a dragon attack. Because it was about this time that, two things were happening, arriving on the scene. One, DJ. Clomp, clomp, clomp goes the Minotaur hooves as he is running down the changing, disintegrating, liquefying hallways, but was able to warn you just in time before the sounds of cannon fire and other things started raining down on you all from above. As hot on the hooves of DJ, not within the ship, but from above it, is Governor Sapfolk's massive Imperial carrier. And it would seem that the governor is not too happy at what's going on. The Loki ended up bailing from the scene and going to the top deck to see what was happening and what was going on. And there was a big shift. Because what you had done, Celine, and through the help and love and appreciation and the energy of everyone here, from you as friends, allies, frenemies, I mean, you all have different relationships, or even just the pure adoration and love of the doppels. You had awakened a transformation. The remains, the liquefying remains of what was the Repentless, were just turning to sludge, and everything was getting creepy and not in the usual, it's a sort of a weird Shonara thing. But massive tendrils, not of an aberrant manifestation, those of great roots of some kind, began to grow out, and the ship was almost forming a scab, or even a cocoon is probably a better way, around itself, as the Repentless was taking in the land. Great taproots wove its way down to the river, burrowed into the hills with the rich farm soil, the minerals, whatever else lies in these hills and mountains underneath the land. And it was about here that we had broke. The carrier is hovering above this cocoon, this massive pulsing thing in the on a hillside here in Brisbane, within the Queensland of the dwarves. Celine, you are coherent. You are. I mean, you can play into being very extremely injured because it was a very emergency, non-professional operation that had occurred on you. Bright, you are holding an egg about as big as your torso. And in this process, Noralai is with you. She is manifested. She is apparently no longer trapped within the ship. Loki is on the scene as well, and we as player to DM or within character can discuss. All right, so what exactly happened when we came in? Also, DJ ? So there's a lot. I very purposely threw you into a basket with a lot of questions. We can sort through it as things pick up from here. As well as whatever is going on and how you're going to get out of this, because there's the regular cannon fire has seemingly had little effect on the cocoon. But how long is that going to last before other things are done, or whatever is going to happen to you all and or the ship? Seltur is on the scene as well, so I can speak through his mouth some if you want to interact. But hail, the gang's all here.
Yes, Fluffy had a question to begin with.
Okay.
Regarding the Elder.
Oh. The Elder died. He turned into a pile of compost.
Oh, right, I remember that now. That happened before I even had a power outage, right? Okay. I forgot.
Yeah, just kind of turned into compost.
You know, if you don't have time to shut down properly, you can lose some of the last data. That's kind of like that. So,
Bright lost a little bit of her data.
Graceful shutdowns, people. They're very important.
so I don't know what to do with this egg. Maybe it's a. I mean, they have emus around here, right? It could be an emu egg.
That came out of Selene? Why would an
I'm pretty
emu egg
sure
come
that
out of
was
Selene?
I think it's a Seltur egg. Oh.
Are you? You're not alright. No, that's a stupid question.
Yeah, done.
I'm glad you caught yourself. I just went through a field C-section. You're gonna ask me if I'm okay.
I shoveled all the bits back in and cast a big ol' heal spell, so you should be okay for physically.
I don't think you realize. That shit hurts!
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it all.
I mean,
Right.
You survived. Considering the situation, you survived. I think that's pretty good.
Right.
That's statistically better than expected.
Bright. My dearest diminutive friend. I understand that you did the most logical thing, and I would never hold that against you. But I'm in a lot of pain. I'm sorry, I just had my train of thought just very thoroughly.
Aha! How do you like it?
derailed.
The DM got you off track. I got my revenge after all these years. I'm sorry. Please continue. Please
Yeah.
continue.
I understand that you did the most logical thing, but you must understand the equivalent of being stabbed in the gut and disemboweled hurts. It hurts a lot. And therefore, I'm gonna shut up before I start saying things to you that I really don't mean, that are kind of obscene and honestly really rude. Let's just go with a thank you.
It's okay. Everything's gonna be fine.
I will bite your
Cannon
fingers.
fire.
No. Oh, out of the frying pan and into the fire. That's just brilliant.
Sounds distant though. Where's Loki?
At the time, Loki would actually be coming back. So, news. There's
You're here. That's good.
Oh,
yeah, there's
convenient.
something around the ship.
Can you determine what it's made of at all? Like,
Wood,
Wood?
like tree roots.
Like the tree that was the illusion
Oh.
on top of the Repentless?
Oh.
'Cause that's what we're in.
No.
Like the illusions become real.
Mordecai.
Yeah, something like
Look what happened to Seltur.
that. Yeah, what did happen?
Yeah, the Seltur does not hear anymore, and there's an egg that came out of you.
It means that it worked. We reincarnated her. We took her spirit and gave it a new physical form. It's just growing right now.
Oh shit.
You know, babies take time to incubate, right? So too would a new body. Or
so
something.
too would a baby dragon born in an egg.
Yeah. And she was tied to this ship so inexplicably. That's
Two are
probably...
separate now?
No. She's being reborn as we speak, and so's the ship. It's like a cocoon.
But
Oh, so
they're
the egg
separate
hatches, the ship will
now?
be... I mean, she's probably linked to it. It makes sense. The egg will hatch, and then the ship will take on its final form.
Like a butterfly?
That's assuming that she comes back
Like a butterfly.
as not a child. Because we can't just pull a baby around to move the ship.
Oh.
Look, this is completely new territory for literally everyone here. It's best not to make assumptions because anything can happen.
I don't know that I've ever heard of a cross between a half-elf and a dragonborn.
Mordecai, as you're pondering that, you feel a tug on the hem of your shirt.
I look to see who it is.
It's Tig.
Oh.
Tig? Tig does not look normal. And she looks up at you and she says, Mr. Mordecai, I don't feel so good. And
What does she look like?
she is getting some kind of like a crust or something that is starting to now take over her, like crawl over her body. And as your attention is on her and the others, and you're not just regarding yourselves, you can see that of the assembled doppels you brought with you, they are slumped over, curled up, and they are also entering some kind of... Maybe this is the substance that Loki had seen, but all of the doppels actually seem to be resonating with this place and what's happening as they are cocooning all around you.
Oh, it makes sense. I mean, they're really sensitive to this kind of thing. And,
They're really sensitive to their environments.
yeah. Maybe we can get them out of here? Get them to safety somewhere? Is that a thing we might be
But if we...
I've been
Contra-
trying to move the ship, but it's not doing anything.
I don't think it's an idea to move them right now.
I mean, we
Because
don't know what they'll turn
if-
into. They could all turn
Yes,
into
but-
dragons.
Yeah, but at the same time, we also don't want to move them because doing so could kill them if that resonance is cut off suddenly.
It wouldn't be suddenly. We'd just be, taking them out of range of it, one step at a time.
I mean, it'd be pretty sudden. There's no guarantee that they would survive leaving this place. You know.
Certainly don't want to do
guarantee they'll
that.
survive staying here either.
For now, it seems like whatever cocoon is holding up, right, Loki?
Mostly.
And isn't that the sound of cannon fire, like distant cannon fire?
That's what I said.
It's not.
Oh, it's not distant. Yeah, we're definitely not leaving then.
It's also
There's
it's
cannon
not
fire
distant,
outside.
but also for a long few moments, that may not be cannon fire. It almost, like you're hearing you're hearing like a dull, resonant heartbeat pattern echoing all throughout this place.
This place is a bioship.
And it's starting to get warm.
It didn't necessarily have a heartbeat before.
It did not.
No, because Seltur wasn't really alive in the traditional sense.
She was not.
But now that's something completely different. And hey, Cypher, do you have any ideas? Please tell me you have some idea.
Are you prompting yourself or are you prompting me to speak up.
I know that's me prompting myself.
Okay, yeah, because you can
And-
absolutely handshake yourself and pass. Yeah. So, but if you need me to speak through, then let me know. Okay.
Cypher is currently in deep thought. He's got his hands clenched together and he's looking down. His eyes on like the gear. You can very obviously see the gears turning in his head, and he's like, "Right." And he lets that lets that sit in the air for a moment before. If I'm to be honest with you, I haven't the foggiest. What, you were expecting an answer from me?
This
It's
is
absolutely insane.
Well, we were kind of expecting an answer from you when we asked you, how do you feel about Seltur, and you refused to answer truthfully.
My feelings are my feelings, and you don't need to know them.
Valid.
I don't think it's important.
It was important in the moment, Professor.
Yes, well, it's not important now, so why do you feel the need to push the subject, Mordecai?
Because I know of another certain someone who had very, very strong feelings and was very keen on keeping them to herself. He looks at Celine. She probably would have taken them to her grave had it not been for Seltur.
I mean, I can't say yay or nay one way or the other, but I will tell you this much. She knows how I feel, and that's enough.
Fair enough. So long as she knows.
What, do you think I would just be emotionally dense? Come now, man, I'm an academician, not an idiot. You are not one to talk, and you know exactly why.
What? What?
Must I remind you of our trip through hell?
What?
The kinds of things that I had to tell you.
Because I'm intellectually dense.
Sure, let's put it nicely.
Exactly, we're putting things nicely.
That's
Yes.
putting it nicely.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, we're just getting started on that, so it's a work in progress.
But
whilst the Repentless undergoes some much needed maintenance and remodeling, I feel like, and he kind of aims out towards in the general direction of Governor Sapfolk, hovering above. There is something out there that will prove to be quite cumbersome if left there for too long. I mean, I could go out and see if I could go out and reason with the chap, but I doubt it.
I doubt
The
he'd
ship's
find much in the way of reason because I don't know if he's aware of whether or not the Emperor's dead.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah,
Someone
I do
would-
know. I mean, it's happened a couple weeks ago now.
Someone would have told him. But I mean, if he was to listen to anyone, it would be of
It's only felt
someone.
like a couple of days, if I'm honest.
But if he was to listen to anyone, it would be to someone who has, oh, I don't know, something that marks them as Shatahar royal blood.
You have claimed that a number of times before. You're not. That's not a.
Unfortunately, Princey, the entire ship is surrounded.
Well, I mean, that puts a pin in that one. Because I'm not breaking this cocoon of the world.
So,
Well, I'm hoping that they don't either.
quick question, out of character. Does the cocoon surround both ships or just the Repentless?
Just the Repentless.
So we can't get over to the wild magic even if we wanted to.
So the wild magic was effectively absorbed by the Repentless, as the Repentless was in need of metal and things.
Yeah.
And
materials.
so, especially as Norlai in this rather, in that formerly more fluid state, she was able to actually work through the Repentless. And in a sense, she could form herself out because of her whatever she is. Her Norlai-ness. Sounds like Royal
What?
Highness, but her Norlai-ness.
Out of all of us, I think myself and Bright are the only mortals left. It's kind of.
DJ would like to hold the egg, by the way.
DJ may hold the egg, I think. If no one has any objections.
I don't
Just
know
don't
why I
drop it.
object.
I don't see why not.
He takes it with his big 3-fingered hands, and
It's a
he-
big egg.
he holds it up, and
What color is the egg? Just eggshell colored?
it'd be kind of a brown egg in coloration. There are some flecks of not necessarily color. Maybe it would almost look like a mineral sample or something, like a rock that might have some mica or some just some little shiny bits as well in it as he says a word, and there's a light. The egg itself doesn't necessarily light up, but something behind it does as he holds it up, and he looks really close. And he seems to be very elated. He bellows very loudly, competing against the and the other sounds, where there's almost something like an in and out breathing, an aspiration of some kind. Nothing mechanical. It doesn't sound like a venting of something. It seems like a process. But he bellows loudly in joy. And he does a little dance with the egg, and he begins a song in his native language as he is singing to this egg. Joyfully. He's careful. He is singing. He has it, and he's doing a little spin and a little rock. But he is. He seems to be absolutely delighted.
Good news, I hope.
This sounds like a.
Hmm.
Ow.
I don't
She's alive
recognize
in
that.
there, he says. I saw.
Well, that's good.
She's everywhere, I think. Because. Well, listen. You know, the sound of the dull throbbing. You wanna know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like a heartbeat.
I don't know that I've heard a heartbeat this close before.
I have.
And as you are listening
By a
to this,
stethoscope, Mordecai.
I've never seen you have one of those.
Oh, it's not like I brought one with me to Mezamaska.
The hell is a stethoscope?
It's a device used for listening to heartbeats through one's chest.
Ah,
To check for arrhythmias and other irregularities within one's
I mean-
heartbeat.
Why not just cast clairvoyance?
Because I don't have clairvoyance.
Oh well, that'll do it then.
as the
Not-
natural
not everybody's an arcanist, right?
Unfortunately, Bright, I wasn't blessed with your skills in divination.
The natural sounds of aspiration and a heartbeat and just other kind of gurgly sounds of that would resemble your own bellies when they would be empty, just or very liquidy sounds. As Loki was able to see and report back, like, this is drinking the river. The water level beyond the tap roots is noticeably lower than what is before the tap roots. And so there's water flowing, there's things that are like gushing and growing. There's an increasing humidity and warmth all around you. The walls are beginning to look like they're turning into stone. But it's not like a cold, dead stone, but it's taking on a texture, a toughness, like it's calcifying or it's hardening around you all as things are continuing to take shape.
But still in the shape of a ship, right? Like still got interior hallways and things like that?
You're in a pocket at this point. Now, can you make your way out? Maybe there's tubes or hallways. But where you've been is a very large room, but it is a place within that is just, it is a single room in which you all are.
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea to leave, because if we leave, we don't know if we're going to be able to get back in. Not to mention, even if we did leave, there's the matter of the cocoon. So I suggest we just stay put.
And now mixing into...
becoming...
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Bright.
Oh, sorry, I'm just saying, it's becoming increasingly more lifelike, so to speak, in here. I mean, what if the whole ship turns into a dragon and then it digests us?
Well, if we end up in a stomach, we can just like.
We can fly our way out.
Yeah, fly our way out.
I don't think we're beyond power of agitating enough to have us be coughed up if that's necessary.
I suppose.
I mean, I was eaten like 24 hours ago. It wasn't that bad.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened.
Well, I guess I'm getting used to cutting bellies open, so why not?
Oh,
Let's
jeez. Oh, God.
Right. Jesus.
It's as if you had a mind of your, like, you were on autopilot or something, without really knowing what you were doing.
I know, I barely remember it. It's almost like I wasn't even there.
So what do we do? How do we keep an eye on what's going on outside? You have that arcane eye, don't you, Bright?
Yeah, but I can't, like, it can't pass through walls.
Oh.
I guess I could scry. I can scry, but it'll take 10 minutes. I don't know if we have 10 minutes.
What do I have prepared today? I don't even know what I have prepared today.
Is there an obvious
I could
path
use a
out?
nap.
I don't think there's not, right? Because we're all in the
No.
cocoon.
The ship is cocooned, and within the bulk of the Repentless, you are in like a very large room. It would be like a like almost a house-sized, like, or a warehouse storage area that you're in. So you're within a pocket room inside of the cocooned Repentless.
Alright. I'll start on a scry to look outside.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it's free, so if we don't finish it, we don't finish it.
Noelai's gonna attempt to take a nap.
Okay. Are you gonna go lean up against some doppel cocoons, or?
I'm gonna kind of check on them a little bit. See, do they seem to be kind of mimicking the Repentless in that they're just kind of hibernating?
So they have a hardened exterior, and they are all very warm. and almost have a pulsing rhythm to them.
Warm, like feverish? Or-
There's an increase in temperature. Now, feverish, but this place itself has gotten warm, so they
That's
might have
true,
the same
too.
fever Seltur does, if she has a fever.
I was just gonna pick a corner and nestle in. She hasn't been able to sleep in a few days.
Yeah, she's tired.
Yeah. Damn.
Wake me up if we're about to die.
Yeah. I think it would be prudent, you know, that's a thing we'll do. I don't think we are going to.
After all that effort, I better not.
Yeah.
So Norlai is tucking in for a nap. You all are settling down. DJ is still holding the egg. He's cradling it. He's humming and singing to it as well. He seems to be just filled with joy. As this time
Kind of
continues,
infectious.
as the time is passing and things shift and gurgle and drip, or will sometimes, like, oh, is that a hallway that opened up? Like something within the room might shift and change. There's even some things that would be like a muscle spasm, things that would shudder a little bit, or clench for a while and then loosen up again around you. DJ, who's sitting by the egg, looks over to you all. I was so worried about you all. I didn't know where you had ended up.
We didn't know where you'd ended up either.
Here and there, DJ, here and there. But it's I'm gonna be the first to say that you're definitely a sight for sore eyes.
Myself and Tam had, during that, we had been displaced and we were off in a bad way. Separated sometime during the crash, but she apparently knew this area and was able to carry me to some place that she said felt like home to her.
Tam.
Oh,
Tim felt like
Casimir.
home here? Yeah. We need to check in with him.
I was taken to a large mountain, and inside the mountain it was filled with dwarves. It was a marvelous sight, though they were quite upset at Tam's arrival. It took some convincing on both of our parts not to continue to try and kill us. It would have been murder.
Yeah, I imagine a five-headed dragon showing up probably wouldn't have been the most comfortable thing for the dwarves. And unfortunately, you would have been guilty by association.
She came out of Oiho, didn't she?
Yes.
So why would she feel like the Dwarf Mountains are home to her?
Well, we were taken to go see the queen of the place. It's an odd system that they have. The queen actually rules the Queen's Land, which is out here, but the king lives here and rules the mountain. It's ever since going on
we're
my
familiar.
journey from my homelands here, it has been one surprise after another.
Where do you call home, by the way?
He looks a little wistful, examines his surroundings. There's a place, well, it's outside of this area, and there are others who are more like me. I don't need to talk about the details, but just know that I left my home and I came here, which very widely is considered a very cursed place by those outside of Mesotopia. And, well, as I've come to discover, it is heavily cursed. I thought I was bucking the trend, and here I only had journeyed to prove all the rumors of this place. I, in a sense, feel bad because I felt maybe I could tell them that this place wasn't nearly as bad as they had thought. And yet I've come to find that it's much worse. I'm sorry. Thinking about my own homeland,
Mesotopia is the site of a great calamity. Shonerith's influences. I don't even know if it ventures beyond Mesotopia.
would that it was just Shoneroth, Mordecai.
Shoneruth, Ouijas, Orlans,
Mercury. All of them.
Legions, the undead, the fae, the fiends, the aberrations.
All of them from elsewhere? Because the fiends seem to come from Oiho.
There are various beliefs that lie outside of those that you all here hold. But when you mention those other things than just Shoneroth, yes. In fact, it was something that I had discovered in that dwarven mountain. And something that Tam had rediscovered. Terrible things happen in this place. And Shoneroth is not the only one that inflicts it on others. You see, I don't know if you had learned of the history of these people, but a long time ago, a beloved king and queen of these people, those who had fled from the war amongst the factions that you had described, they had settled here, and after, from what they had said, the Shadowhar did too. And as each of the nations grew... Sorry, that was a long one.
Oh, I didn't realize you weren't in control of it. I thought it was
It's
just how you...
my accent. I try to control it. It's difficult sometimes. Plus, I just love singing. The vibrations in my throat. Ed, I'm sorry. I distracted.
Not the only one who enjoys singing.
But as we were taken before their current queen, and we had discovered much more to the shock of Tam. At a time in their history, their king, Bahamut, had been killed by Shadowhar agents. Their queen, Tuwu, was kidnapped along with the other royal heirs. Idni, Adela, Melba, Alis, the entirety of the Tamworth line. And if that name sounds familiar now, Tam. Well, we were able to put together
I
that
theorize them.
the Shadowhar had abducted those women and taken them back, but not to just Shadowhar, but to Oiho. The same place where the dear governor circling above us like a buzzard must have also received his treatment,
Same with Casimir.
his experimentation.
Casimir let himself to be overcome by that too.
Tam is the queen. And the others.
Her
That
four
is
daughters.
why there are 5 heads.
They merged
Wait,
together
wait, why?
in the primordial.
Why?
Oh, go ahead.
Could you repeat why there are 5 heads? I missed it.
Mercury's experiments to recreate dragons.
She merged them together.
What would she want to create dragons for?
Power. The dragons were always more powerful than the fiends could ever hope to be.
Well, and it provides her a built-in set of worshippers. Powerful ones.
Yeah,
Exceptionally
That's
powerful
what you
ones.
need.
right? But they'd be copies. They wouldn't be true dragons.
I mean, there's not that much difference, really, when it comes to what comes out of Oyo.
The real dragons, though, most of them are gone.
I'm
In
sure
a sense,
Sapfolk is still
Mordecai,
around here somewhere.
you are a copy of a dragon. As are those two, and he uses 2 of his 3 fingers to gesture towards Loki and Norlai. And this one here, Bright, you are a copy of a giant.
Yeah, except the copier was set with the reduce mode on.
Yeah, that is true. From
And
dragons
stirring in your
giants.
blood, Celine, the same.
And this we all learned back at the temple.
That's true, yeah. But is that...
From dragons and giants came fae and fiends, and from fiends came...
But if I'm kind of the
being
same as
from
you
dragons.
now, Celine, to a lesser degree, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, you are something like which the world has never seen.
I mean, same for you, right? I mean, you're not...
No,
World's seen
That's
a
not-
few of Celine's already.
that's not necessarily true. I mean, between Regal and Raphael.
I mean, sure, but like... I'm just confused by all of it. I mean, you know, finding out that that most of us are descended from either dragons or giants or whoever the hell knows what we just did with all of that. Taking the dead and using both their spirits and their body to do something else with them. It's got walking zombies and shit, and then you have ghosts.
Well, yeah, but Mercury did some horrible, horrible things, and now it's becoming to light of just how horrible she was.
Well, she was about to combine herself with Tam and the Emperor, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I think it was more like a body snatching thing
Hmm.
to take over the Emperor, just so she would be the ruler without having to.
Like a-
anything she could just take over.
Whether or not she was going to puppet him or if she was going to be him, you know, we
Oh,
don't
she
have.
was gonna be him.
She, either way, you know.
She was gonna be him with Tam's power. It would be a whole big thing. It would be like a 3-in-1 kind of deal. That's never good.
Three existences? Well, technically, if Tam is the old queen and her 4 daughters, and then there's Mercury, and then there's the Emperor, that's 6 people all in one.
7.
Yeah.
7.
5 plus
Yeah,
1
5
plus 1
heads
is
plus
7.
Mercury plus the
I
Emperor.
can't
Emperor-
math.
That's okay. The Emperor was going to be dead anyway, and probably she was just taking the power out of Tam. She might not have actually been. Like, I don't imagine they'd all be stuffed into that one brain. I mean, it'd get really noisy in there.
But if the souls were removed from Tam or the Emperor, they'd go to Ouija's. I think Mercury would have an exception to that.
Not necessarily. Remember, she was trying to entreat Ouija's for power.
They had some sort of a
That we
deal.
just owed her. Remember? Because we saw that, you and I.
Yeah. But that was... Oh, what's her face? Grimhilder.
Mhm.
Yeah. But who do you think was puppeting that body? Because Grimhilda there wasn't a lot left of her the time before when we saw her before that point.
That's true. Loki, you remember that?
No.
he
You were barely a husk.
yeah. Why would you ask him that then?
Well, just
Oh,
in
hey,
case he
oh.
was like watching from behind his own eyes.
I think he had more pressing concerns, like, let's not have my brain consumed by Shona Earth, please and thank you. Am I right, Loki?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he's just agreeing with you to get you to stop.
Yeah, but don't tell her that.
Celine just kind of looks at him like, I got cut open like 20 minutes ago. You think I'm in the mood for this?
Yeah, and I got swallowed whole 2 days ago. So.
Yeah, 2 days versus 20 minutes. You've had time to get over it. I have not. Walk it off.
Stop fighting, you two. He goes to pet Celine's head.
How's my scrying coming?
Oh yeah, it's been 10 minutes. That's fine.
So you can see outside.
So, what do we see outside?
Where are you placing your sensor?
Let's just say, somewhat above the cocoon. High enough that it doesn't block the view downward, but, you know.
Okay. So, all right, yeah, you take a guess to try and kind of, hopefully get it outside the cocoon.
It's a very smart woman. She can measure distances in her head.
Well, but yeah, but there's also no dimensions given to her, so
It's judging based off the sound of the distant sound of cannon fire.
You make an educated guess, and you lob up your sensor, and you begin to peer outside. As your sensor manifests and you begin to look through, you do in fact you are seeing around you just giant pulsing roots that have gone into the earth. And you're actually seeing the best way to put it would be something like the hill is deflated. Like, the mat of grass is still kind of there, but the soil, the rocks, or the minerals and everything else underneath it has been pulled out. And so you're actually seeing a flattening of the land around the cocoon as your sensor continues to spin bright. The houses are not... I mean, they're moving with the land as well, so that there is some wreckage, yes. They do not look like they have been targeted for consumption, which would indicate that this is a change in habit, because before, Seltur absolutely would gobble up houses. The water in the stream, there's really no downstream anymore, as several more taproots have effectively just made a dam, and no water passes through. It seems to be redirected into this thing. And you do not see any dwarves either. There are none that are walking about, poking this thing with a stick. They've either fled or gone to ground or something.
Yeah, they could have gone into their little hidey holes. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
There is, in your field of vision, a shadow that overcomes the land. And as your sensor switches up, there's a moment, Bright, where you might have like a startled, like, whoa, like a step back or a stagger, as this ship is passing right over / even like through-ish your sensor, as it's just in a circle going around. And make a perception, Bright.
Do I have to?
Yeah, unfortunately.
18. That's not
Hey,
That's
not
not
bad.
so bad. Yeah. It looks like... So after that initial shock of all of a sudden, there's a ship in your face, this grand ship, which it's in a very low circle now. It's not high up. This is like super close. There might be 2 other ships incoming. It's hard to tell, but there are 2 specks on the horizon as well.
Okay. So it's not actively engaged in attacking anything. It's just kind of hovering overhead.
Yeah, it is in a circle similar to what it was doing above New Denales, the town.
Okay. Well, so good news. We don't have to go far to find the governor. Oh, hey, is the cocoon doing? Like, is it like pulsing or looking like it's about to be torn asunder, or otherwise anything odd going on? with it?
Yeah,
Is it
the
just
cocoon
something
is
world?
pulsing. Even in the daylight, there are some signs of light, kind of within the darkness underneath this carapace. It is twitching. It is moving here and there, not at a particularly accelerated speed, and there's really no cracks or any openings in it. But it does look like you are in the middle of a vast cocoon.
Can you imagine what hatches out of it, huh?
Huh. What's that, Mordecai?
Oh, I was just I wonder what kind of thing is going to hatch out of this cocoon.
I don't know. I guess if we wanted to, I don't know. We could probably see what the ship looks like from the outside. depending on how long we're going to spend in here, I could just do another scrying. Or I could send out an arcane eye. Those aren't very expensive for me.
Or we could, send a message to Sapfolk and see what he wants.
We could.
Are you sure you want to?
I'm just wondering because we know who he is, but he doesn't know who we are. So it would be kind of a weird introduction. Hey, you don't know us, but we're inside this cocoon, just in case. And
I
we just want to know
mean,
what you want.
he doesn't necessarily have to know our position. We could just send him a sending and say, "You're hovering over Brisbane. What do you want?"
You're hovering. You're invading our personal space. What do you want?
What do you want? I mean, that's an option.
It is. It kind of freaked him out though to get like a sending from somebody he'd never met, never talked to.
I don't really think he deserves the joy of knowing who he's talking to.
Okay, that's fair, but if we want to make it some kind of arrangement with him, we kind of need to put him at ease rather than freak him out.
Right. I mean, Cypher did say he's royal descended.
That's true. What are you getting at?
Well, he might be willing to negotiate with his fellow Shadowheart.
Well, he might. Do you think maybe we could get Cypher to talk to him? Is that what you're thinking?
That's what I'm thinking.
How
Cypher
would they
have
give
the spell?
talk to him?
I don't think Cypher has sending, does he?
Let me look. No. I
Well,
don't think he has the ability to learn it either.
I don't think that it's beyond.
Unless we have a way out of this ticket.
Well, I don't want to be punching holes in it. And I think he's investigating it because it appeared kind of out of nowhere. Speaking of which, he appeared really fast.
Do you think?
Yes,
we should
investigating by
teleport?
shooting that up.
I don't think he's been shooting at us, has he?
Yes.
As for his appearance, I believe that might have been in part my fault. I was on my way here, and, some things had happened in the mountain. I had learned that apparently there was something that was going on with the king. He had a very upset, the queen had received an agent of the king who appeared to be very upset. Was talking about some traitors or incompetence or something. He made his way here to warn of the governor and everything that was happening. And from the description I picked up, I recognized it was... I'm sorry if this sounds like an insult, but from what he was talking about, it was you. All.
No, that's fair.
We're
It's
kind of
definitely
incompetent
some
sometimes.
It's
We can't leave
miscommunication.
Destruction in our wake.
We're kind of
Well, I
incompetent
got
sometimes.
spooked.
Now, this is nice and all, says the dwarven soldier, but I'm really concerned with what the little one had to say. You said good news, and usually there's the other part of that too. That's bad news. Was there bad news to what you saw? Because I want to get out of here. That was the whole point of me helping.
It was
We have
kind of
every intention of
implied
fulfilling
bad
that.
news. It kind of implied bad news that the governor was right here.
Ah,
That's the bad news.
yeah, Sapfolk. What
What can you tell us about him?
not natural. If I could speak plainly, because he ain't here. Well, he's here,
He
but
doesn't look like it. He doesn't look like any Dragonborn any of us have ever met.
rumor was he
could
was
you-
a man-made, but not in the way of promotion.
So Cypher's actually gonna speak up. I think I could take a guess as to what he is.
Similar
Or
to
what happened to
Casimir.
him. Either something like Casimir, or he's an Abishai. They look quite a bit like dragons.
Could be. Could be.
Aren't Abishai also created like
Mhm.
Casimir was?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see a difference.
He's ambitious, is what he is.
The difference is that Casimir appears to be a full.
Appears to be.
Bright, make another. You still have your sensor up, or does that go away after a short while? How long does that last?
It lasts 10 minutes.
Okay. Go ahead and make another perception as this conversation's going on.
Not as good. 11.
That is fine. You broke the magic number of 10 I was looking for because, as this conversation is going on, Casimir, the description of Casimir, very readily, comes to you, Bright, because you are seeing Casimir quickly approaching, along with a 5-headed dragon flying beside him.
Oh, hey, so I have more good news. Casimir's here. And there's also bad news. Which is that, well, maybe it's not bad news. Tam is
You
also
can
here.
send him.
Kind
We
of-
rescued
kind of
Tam,
50-50.
you know?
Yeah, kind of 50-50 with her. So, but maybe she'll be nice because we did save her. So, yay.
Then
We need all the allies we can get, honestly.
Then I'll
Why
attempt
don't
to reach
we
out to
sick the
Casimir.
2 dragons against the ship?
Why don't we try to talk to them first?
Let's talk to them. They might
They've already tried shooting at us.
What did I talk about Casimir and Tam?
And
I
there's
was
a
talking-
muffled cannon fire that is barely able to get through the pulsing cocoon in which you all are.
They're still shooting at us.
I don't know if that was at us or if that was at them. Brian, can you confirm?
Yeah, well, Maddie, you said it was hit the cocoon, right?
They fired at the cocoon before. These shots, as you turn your vision back through your sensor, the carrier is now opening up on the 2 approaching dragons.
Oh, so it didn't hit the cocoon, it was fired at the dragons.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
only.
we were just hearing the thud of
Yeah,
the
you're
cannon
hearing the
fire
thud of
coming
the
from
fire,
cannons.
not the impact,
Oh,
which is why it was
the
a lot less.
sound came
Yeah.
through the cocoon. I thought you meant the cannonballs came through the
No,
cocoon.
no, no, no.
Ah, okay, that's better for us anyway. Okay, so maybe we don't have to sick them on the ship. They might fight the ship on their own. Actually, they might need our help fighting the ship, which we can always cut our way out. We're good at that. I'm gonna conjure up Piggy Sue and have her fly out and look for a way at least out of this part of the ship and maybe to get a look at it.
Can you cast through your sensor? How is she gonna escape the cocoon?
Oh, she's not. She's gonna look for a way out of
Oh,
this portion
out
of
of
the
the
ship and
Okay.
out into the wider
gotcha. All
cocoon
right, so you're
area.
gonna have her like just sort of like flying around, testing all the walls and everything.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay.
And
In
then
the
come back if she
meantime,
finds anything that looks promising.
I think I might send ascending to Casimir.
I still have an idea to send
As
ascending to
who?
Sapfolk and tell him.
Celine?
Yeah, Celine.
Oh, that's right. You said Cypher doesn't.
Cypher can't send. Yeah, Cypher can't send. Cypher's only good at making his voice boom really, really loud, but he
Yeah.
needs the ship for that. Well, the ship for that. But I'll go ahead and send ascending to Casimir.
I still think that we could potentially coordinate this, where we talk to Sapfolk too and tell him we'll tell them to stand down if you surrender.
So that's just surrender.
Well, no. That's a bad idea because he won't do that. That's just gonna piss him off.
Well, what do you do? Okay,
Because I'm going to get Casimir to stall the time until this is finished.
Casimir. I mean, if they're shooting Casimir, he's gonna just attack them.
So yeah,
Just let him
Casimir
know
will
we're
hear.
in here.
Casimir, the rest of us are inside that massive cocoon below you. We'll be out as soon as we can to assist in dealing with the nuisance. Okay, thanks, bye. And he can respond as well.
Casimir, do you have a response?
They're shooting at me, I'm taking them down. Okay, thanks, bye.
Well, that's Casimir.
And here I was hoping for some kind of peaceful resolution.
It's the Shadowheart and Casimir. You think there's gonna be a peaceful resolution?
There's still possibilities.
Mordecai, my dearest darling love, I love you. But we've been here before. We've been in this exact position before, and look how that turned out.
Celine, my darling wife.
Yes, Mordecai, my darling husband.
I am ever the optimist.
You know, there's more rooms in the ship.
There's really just the one.
That is not where I was going with that at all. Loki.
Sure.
Later.
Some other time when we actually have time. Besides, I look quite old now.
Yeah.
It us as a couple now looks kind of strange now, Celine.
You're gonna let that frighten you?
No, not at all.
Mordecai, how do you feel? Does this life drain, does it just make you look older, or does it make you feel older?
There's some joints that are sorer than others compared to last year.
You look old enough to be my dad.
Nope.
I've been losing a lot of life to this. I have to find a way to make it stop.
Oh God, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
Haven't exactly had a chance to look yet.
There is a chuckle. Oh, Mordecai. Comes from Cypher. You now know what it's like.
I know what's like.
Being old.
Oh God.
You don't look a day over 25.
That's because I made myself younger when I remanifested out of hell. I reversed the clock a bit.
I didn't do that. I stayed about the same age. But now I'm older. Older looking, anyway. I don't...
Well, you have been feeding your light force to Celine. You have been getting older. She's been aging you slowly but surely.
And I have done so without hesitation.
There are draconic roars and screams and additional, not just cannon fire, but you all have been around enough spells as well to understand the sounds of various ones that have gone off. Bright, you are coming towards the end of your 10 minutes, but you're able to see. Well, Bright, it's almost like another vision is coming true again to you. Because you remember back at the volcano where these two had emerged and were actually attacking the Repentless. And were doing a number on it, like tearing into it and and heavily damaging it. That was, of course, when Seltur and Cypher were, let's just say, negotiating a mutual terms. And you're witnessing this battle again. It's not against the Repentless, but a ship not unlike it also being savaged by both of these dragons. The exchange of fire. You do see that both the dragons have been shot at, and that spells have torn across their hides and have put some holes in their wings. It's actually a very pitched battle between this like super carrier and the two dragons.
Yeah, they're fighting pretty hard up there. We, if we're gonna help, we're gonna have to do it pretty soon, unfortunately. Is
Unless
Peggy
they
Sue
could
still,
find a way out, then.
still in visual range?
Is
Or,
what?
Telepathy range. Is Peggy Sue still in telepathy range?
Yeah, she has not been able to find a way out. It is, you are contained inside this room within the greater cocoon.
So,
it's query
we're
and
gonna
see if
way
there's a
out.
way.
Yeah, she might be able to give us a way out.
I just kind of call out into the room. We kind of need a way out. That would be nice.
The heartbeat is continuing on. It actually sounds a little quicker and stronger, and there is still breathing. There's no reply back to your request, though.
Does anything manifest as far as like hallways or an exit or?
Things are pulsing. Things are glowing. In fact, you're getting a lot more sort of like bioluminescent glowing inside. And even the doppel cocoons have a physical pulsing and a glow to them.
Norla's gonna wake up a little. Oh, I can do something.
Oh. Yeah.
She can cast Past Wall.
Oh. Lorelei has pass wall.
Yep.
I don't
Using
think
her
it's
staff.
gonna work. Because
Just
pass
go,
wall is
still gonna
only...
try.
Okay, you can try it. I don't think it's gonna work.
Let me copy paste the text because I don't actually.
I have it.
Okay.
This uses 5 charges. First.
Roll a d20.
Do I have to roll if it's from her staff?
Oh, I thought that was coming from you.
No, this is her using the staff of the Magi.
Oh, okay. Nope, you're good.
So she'll get up, she'll walk to a wall, and she'll attempt to cast this.
You do, and the wall shudders and clenches up as if it's in pain. It doesn't relent to the magic. In parts, there's some rents that are forming because the walls had been mineralizing. But where the the stone or the minerals are parting, there's actually cracks and some kind of a blood-like fluid that is pouring out of it.
It is.
It doesn't actually cause damage to the wall. Though.
Yeah, it's a
It
harmless.
creates no instability in a structure surrounding it.
I know this is not a structure, but it has some structure-like qualities. This is a very weird thing.
It's still creature. So yeah, we won't be able to get out by a pass wall. So let's not do that again.
So nothing opens though?
Just some wounds on the inside.
Oh.
I have an idea.
Well, I tried.
Gave it an ulcer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast a Cure Wounds on it. It does have flesh, so I'm gonna cast
It
a Cure
does.
Wounds on the wall. That's gonna be a charge out of my staff.
Okay. You mark that off. Your Cure Wounds does seep in, and with kind of a quick vibrating hum, the tissue, not all of it, but the tissue does cease bleeding and repair slightly.
Sorry about that.
Um,
Thought there was more structure to this than biology.
So
Well,
it's living stone.
I could try something else, but there's a risk of tentacles.
Talking about a teleport, aren't you?
Not quite.
I'd rather
And
not risk it.
she's just gonna pull out her obsidian steed. Sleppy can go into like the other like plane.
The
and then-
ethereal.
Yeah, and then we could pass through walls like that because I think she can bring like 5 people with her, somewhere around
That
there.
is that is highly dangerous.
Yeah, and it's dangerous, but it's possible.
Are you sure
No.
you want to step into Shonerit's realm? Because that's where you're going. I would know.
Shush, you're not even a professor. So
I am so a professor.
if we wanted to get out of the cocoon, we could try this.
I wrote many books to gain that title. I deserve to be called such.
At which academy, though?
At the university in Fallfire.
There you go.
That is my alma mater, after all, and I even visited the university in Arct back when, it wasn't a massive flesh tree jungle.
Bright, I would like you to just roll a d20. And the better the roll, the more information you'll get before your scrying sensor pops.
Okay.
Big money.
That was small money.
Okay.
Very small money.
That's very
Almost
small
non-existent
money.
Bright, the ship above has been rent. There are some fires aboard it, probably from the various breaths of Tiamat. There's a lot of scraping and structural damage from the more physical Casimir style attacks, and the 2 dragons themselves are very beat up. And your sensor, make a perception with this as well. Ooh, nice.
19.
You see that before your sensor winks out, for a brief moment, the figure of Governor Sapfolk out on a parade deck is there, and when you're right before your sensor pops, he extends his arms forward, and there's a large green flash of something, and your 10 minutes on your sensor is up.
Okay. Well, he was gonna cast some kind of a zap, but I didn't see what it was. Ran out just in time. All I get is a buffer right now.
Inside, as you say this, there's a 2 thwumps against the cocoon.
That might have been them.
And
We should go heal them.
the cocoon begins to shudder violently.
Oh. In a bad way?
It shudders violently.
Good way, bad way, we have no idea.
Alright, I'm summoning my my nightmare and jumping on.
Okay.
2 people to come with me.
Just wait a second. I think the cocoon might be beginning to break. Let me check.
Forcibly or on purpose?
We
Either
don't get time for checking. 2 people come with me now.
Who wants to go to Shoneroth's realm with Noralai?
Look, he's volunteering.
I'm
Why
not. Seth is like, I'm not going with you. I was already there once.
I don't
Yeah,
know
and
if
you
this
walked
is
off on
a
yourself.
good choice. I don't know
All right.
if it's a good choice.
Fine, just us two then. Bye-bye. And we are using Ethereal Stride.
Oh,
Okay.
Smikes.
Lorelei and Loki disappear.
Yep.
I don't think that was a good idea.
Oh, no, it definitely wasn't a good idea.
In that moment, before I start calling for dex checks from Loki to grab him with a bunch of tentacles, because I would love to have a talk with Loki. You see through the cocoon that Tam and Casimir have fallen onto it and are almost being absorbed down into the cocoon.
Oh.
Now I need your summon and I need your brother to make dex saves, please.
Two for my summon.
An 18 and a 26.
For now, you're able to step aside, as this place in the ethereal plane does seem to be infested with tendrils that are crawling through and are a very unnatural complement to what this cocoon has been doing. They are everywhere out here. You're seeing like a large eye up in the mountain. You're seeing just a webbing network across everything, with an exception of this cocoon. There is no webbing that is on it. There are tendrils that sort of try and tap against it, and it is repelled, similar to how the tendrils are not able to grab you, Norlai. And so this cocoon is almost a sanctuary in a sea of growing corruption in this area. What are you doing, Norlai, before I ask for some more saves?
We are flying straight up towards the ship. And actually, let's see. How high up is the ship?
Ship is, I don't know, like 60 feet above the ground. It's pretty low.
Okay. Using my nightmares 90 feet of flying, I'm gonna get directly under the ship, and we're gonna pop out of the material and back into the material. But we're under the ship, so they cannot see us.
Okay.
So we don't need any more saves.
Norlai, as you materialize back into the flesh realm, the real realm, the bodies of Casimir and Tam have been absorbed fully by the cocoon. And where you materialized is directly between a giant rent in the cocoon and the carrier. There is a large golden eye that is peering out from the cocoon. Inside, you all are rocking around and you are staggering if you aren't already laid out. The Minotaur DJ makes a grab for the egg and is cradling it and holding himself steady against a wall with a wide stance to use his center of gravity to just try and be stable and not let anything happen. The cocoons of the doppels inside are just vibrating with light. Just scintillating patterns are quickening up and up and up. And the entire place begins to shake. What do you do? Norlai is not back.
I think we're beginning to move.
Brace yourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm bracing.
Kobolds.
What was that, Bright?
I said, I wonder if the doppels are all going to turn into kobolds.
We have
That's
now
actually,
from the
that's
rank
actually a possibility.
something like a tendril flashes up out of the cocoon, grabbing. By the way, I need dex saves from Norlai, Loki, and the mount, please. This is at disadvantage because this is so big. A 14. Is that from Norlai?
That was Loki.
Loki?
This one's not lying. And then... Oh. 11 for my horse.
All right. Norlai, as this giant thing rushes up out of the top of the cocoon, right into the belly of this injured carrier. You see Sleppy and your brother fall into the thing's mouth. You've tumbled to the side, though you can fly, so it's not exactly a big deal. Physically, you're welcome to scream or have an emotional moment because your brother and your steed were just apparently consumed by this thing that emerged from the cocoon and has affixed onto and even into the guts of this ship. You all inside, there is a massive shuddering, vibrations, now the sound of metal. You were used to it to a degree on the Repentless, but there was almost a distinct lack of it. Begins to echo down through. Cypher, you are feeling very woozy, and you pass out. Something about your bond, and
Professor?
I think he passed out. Selena's kind of like trying to kind of huddle herself in a corner.
Silly.
Listen, check real quick. See if it has.
yeah, Bright's coming over in the earthquake with a knife. Professor, I'm gonna help you.
Mordecai's more interested in bracing the professor so he doesn't like crash his head on something.
Yep.
So Mordecai's gonna get him and actually like hold him to stabilize themselves, and sit up against the wall.
Yeah, DJ saves the egg and Mordecai saves the egghead. Okay.
Alright. I think Loki's gonna be upset. This was the second time he was swallowed whole in 2 weeks.
Or like 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah.
Like 3 days.
He had a nickel for each time.
He'd have 2 nickels.
Which isn't
The
that much.
sounds of the carrier blasting its engines. Now you all can hear that familiar whine, even vibrating down into the cocoon. This massive ship is trying with all its might to get out, to move. It thought it won against the dragons. To a vague familiarity is your characters. And now this giant thing has grabbed it. It is straining, but with the roots firmly set in the ground, winding underneath tons and tons of soil and grass and trees and rocks. It is unable to move against this planted cocoon. and it's now being drugged down. The cocoon cracks begin to open up wider and wider. And it's not even necessarily that the cocoon itself is cracking as just a shell. Maybe a small hint of the maw or the repentless as would come to mind. Now, Norlai, this is more for you because you're flying and seeing this. The others are just feeling it from within. As you are seeing this straining carrier being drawn down from this thing that shot up and is clenching it, drawing it into the cocoon. And this carrier cannot escape. As it's being drawn down and you're floating where you're at, there's a moment where you are eye level to eye level with Governor Sapfolk. If you want to say or do anything. Otherwise, it looks like he is...
I'm eye level?
At this point, as it's being drugged down, yeah, because you had flown off to the side after your brother and Steed were eaten.
Okay.
Do you want to say or do anything?
Yeah, I'm checking my spells.
Oh.
You're gonna cast a spell at him on the way down to add insult to injury.
I'm gonna cast the 7th level fireball. If someone could throw up that. I have it. I just don't have a.
Do it.
Yeah, Bright would be the perfect one to throw up a fireball.
Well, I rolled minimum damage, so that's good.
No, how dare you?
All right.
Just centered on the ship.
As the governor is going down into this great maw of the cocoon and is yelling orders, trying to command people, there's this moment where he looks up and there's just Norlai just floating there. Are you waving or smiling or giving him a wink, or are you just sort of...
Nope.
Nope.
No. You know what? She's
Just
snapping
pointing
her
a
fingers.
fireball at him.
Fireball.
His
I'm so
panic
proud of
turns
you.
to curiosity as he takes in this scene. His eyes widen as your fireball encompasses him and scorches him in the metal as the rest of the ship is now inside. It is almost deafening. There are pings and pangs of broken metal. There are just exertions of great force upon upon everything that's going on here. And everywhere that you are, I mean, it is shuddering. It's not stable to stand too easily, but there's nothing that's piercing. There's no great sources of heat. There's a legitimate concern for ghosts and the like. None of that is reaching you where you're at. While it is scary and loud, you seem to be in a rather safe spot.
Yeah, we're just gonna stay here. Okay.
It's okay, Celine. It's okay, Celine. We're gonna be okay.
Don't patronize me.
I'm patronizing you. I'm putting some vibes out there.
So where's Loki?
Uh,
Other than inside. The giant
inside,
worm.
yeah, inside the thing
He's
somewhere.
inside.
Is he conscious?
He is conscious, yes.
Okay. He's gonna grab on. Well, he actually was already on Selpy. So they're gonna go back to the ethereal plane.
Can he control it?
Nor I summoned it. Unless...
You can't control it, but it wouldn't stay in the stomach.
Yeah, the nightmare does have a mind of its own. It's friendly to Norlai, but it does have a mind of its own, so it
Okay.
will react as an animal does.
So he would just keep hold of it and with ethereal step he's one of the willing participants to go with it.
Loki, in this moment, as you disappear into the ethereal plane, there's no real relief, as, of course, seeing the vast presence of your patron before was probably very unsettling. Seeing it everywhere, and yet it was nowhere. There was always a feeling. There's always something. But seeing it here is upsetting, and maybe even more greatly so. Everywhere your patron is, it's probably not as concerning as the fact that whatever this thing is that is absorbing this carrier into it, that is whatever it is, Shonaroth cannot seem to interact with it, cannot seem to touch it or corrupt it or to wheedle its way into this structure, because everywhere around it has tried.
Okay, I'm a little confused. The worm is not part of Shonaroth?
No.
Okay.
The
'Cause
thing
you said
that
I was
came
surrounded,
out,
and I
this
was like,
cocoon, all of its tendrils,
Yep. Not sure.
there is just like a circle of all these things that are trying to get to it, and it just can't. It is untouchable. It exists here, but it does not seem to exist in a way that Shonaroth can interact.
Okay. Well, we're going to get outside of the worm, and then I assume the nightmare would pop back into material once it's away from the stomach of this worm.
Yes.
Okay. So they pop back out. Norlai fly over and be like, "Be more careful next time."
And what we'll do, as this thing shudders and shimmies and shakes, we will get up and take a little bit of a break. We'll refresh ourselves. And then I have some narrating to do as this thing is about ready to hatch.
Ooh.
So, everyone out there, get up and do what you gotta do, and we will come back shortly. We'll have a little over an hour to continue, and we'll go from there. See you soon, everyone.